Hello from Sedona area. There's a forest, a national forest where you can camp for free. So we are there tonight. I'll show you some of the sights. We've got Red Rock in the distance, right there. We're the only ones so far in this little campground spot, but I'm sure that'll change. But there's more Red Rock over there, and it's so pretty. But the reason we picked up the camera is why, Ernst?
So our first video, you might have seen that our jack broke, and we used some quarter pins to fix that. Well, the quarter pins have officially broken, so it's time to do a new one. It's been a good, I don't know.
And we got a neighbor.
It's been a good 6 months with the original quarter pin. I need to lift it up, right?
Mm-hmm. In case you didn't know, we have a level right here.
Okay.
You're at number 2 for...
Is it touching the ground on the back?
Yes. It was our first time sleeping on public lands. This is a national forest land, and you're allowed to camp for up to 14 days as long as you stay within, 20 yards of the main road. And so there's a bunch of pull-offs, and we were one of 3 vehicles that stayed in our little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I think it's 20 yards outside of the main road.
Yeah, on either side. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. Our big limiting factor though is electricity. We have a battery pack, but we don't have any solar panels to recharge it. So that's our only complaint of figuring out how to do things. We could also arrive with items and phones and stuff fully charged, but I think we'd do it again. It was a good night's sleep and fun way to meet people.
We'll do it again for sure.
We are now headed to the Grand Canyon. About to drive through Sedona area, so here's some clips from that. It is very pretty as well. Super bright. Sedona. That's pretty cool. Sedona is known to be Arizona's hidden gem, but it's not so hidden anymore, and it's super touristy. Camera's not picking up how red the rocks are. Wow, wow, wow. Reactions, Ernst?
It's cool.
Have you seen anything like it before?
Yeah, back there.
I've just been driving up switchbacks for about a mile, 2 miles now. On the north side of these mountains, there's snow, even though it's 50 degrees outside. And Ernst is doing great. Slow and steady. Just keeping climbing. Just climbed a lot of feet. It's still 50 degrees outside, but there's patches of snow as we get up, so yippee for cold weather.
House-dwelling, field-tilling victims. Many Chickasaws were driven out of the Indian Territory altogether and into...
Good morning from the Grand Canyon.
As you can tell from our last clips, we were in the sun. And now we're in the cold again.
We are so cold. It was supposed to snow. It was like 30% chance of snow. Luckily, it didn't happen, so we didn't have to go buy the crampons and do the whole thing. But we are en route and to the Grand Canyon, which is pretty crazy to think. Like, this is not the terrain that we thought there'd be. To the Grand Canyon, we thought it would be more barren, less trees. We were one of 2 people in our campsite last night because it got down to, I think, like 11 or 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So cold. But we were cozy and slept well.
Yep.
And so we've packed a lot of food. We've got ramen in thermos. We got hot dogs in thermos, coffee, sandwiches, just kind of ready to go to feed a feast of the afternoon. My aunt and uncle are actually en route here. We had no idea that they'd be in Arizona at the same time, so they flew into Phoenix and they're driving up to the Grand Canyon, so you might see some clips of Uncle Josh and Aunt Louise. Those are the folks that so those people that just pulled out behind us, the van lifers, were the ones that stayed with us at our little cul-de-sac near Sedona 2 nights ago. That's super small world. And I think in 3 miles, we're gonna get to the Grand Canyon sign, so. Got anything else to say?
No, they're pulling up. I'm just gonna wave to them when they drive by.
Okay, here we go. Our first look at the Grand Canyon. Woo-hoo. Oh my gosh. How freaking cool. It's so weird because it's just like forested and stuff, and then all of a sudden it opens up. Holy smokes. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Ernst. Excuse me. Ernst. What's your reaction?
I've never seen anything like it.
No. How freaking wow. Can you imagine just coming through a forest on a horse and then just being like, whoa, hold up. So that might be accessed from the north rim. Getting the shot. Aaron's loving smelling all the animals that have gone before us. There's horseback riders and elk and dogs and humans and all the little mice and critters and whatnot. But you can tell he's having himself a day smelling all the smells.
There's elk right there. Whoa.
That's so interesting. Sorry.
That's so cool.
Wildlife!
Wow.
Oh, there's another one.
Don't mess with them.
I won't.
They can kill you.
Karen tried to charge at one. That's what he was smelling, I bet.
Yeah. Wow. And they're so close.
They're so beautiful. It's interesting how their fur is. No, Bjorn.
Hey. No. Come here. I don't want that thing charging at me.
That was so cool. We snuck in med each other, and each time we've spoken Norwegian, we've found elk. And Bjorn, no. He doesn't care.
Oh, I care.
No, but it doesn't care.
So close.
So close. It's interesting because there's lots of paths around the paved path, and it makes you think that it's not the humans that made them. Leave it.
You're okay. Good
You
boy.
did so good. What are your thoughts on Grand Canyon? Expectation versus reality?
I've grown to learn that I don't get as enthusiastic about things that you do.
How long did that take you to learn?
For me, this is like, oh, it's a Grand Canyon.
It's cool though, right? Like
But
it's
you're
a...
like, wow, ooh, wow, 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 wow. Thoughts, opinions. Oh, it's cool. Wow, wow. And I'm like, oh, it's a Grand Canyon. Probably won't come back.
But nothing like you've ever seen before.
Nothing like I've ever seen before, but now I've seen it.